What did we know and when did we know it?
We've made thousands and thousands and thousands of dives with other countries as well to these depths and have never had an incident.
Tonight, new details about the safety concerns raised about that now imploded submersible. Could anything have been done? Plus,
what is the longest that you have waited in line for water?
3 hours. Summer, hot.
You always think that those people that have running water are really lucky.
Nearly a third of Navajo Nation lacks running water. We take you inside everyday life for thousands of Americans who live without this vital resource. And
it's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
It's Friday. In tonight's Prime playlist, we feature an artist who went viral and was then cyberbullied worldwide, all over singing about a single day of the week. More than a decade later, charting a new path with some advice for young musicians beginning to navigate what can be an unforgiving business. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff in for Lindsay Davis tonight. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and a lot more for you tonight. Major developments out of Russia, where the mercenary group Vladimir Putin has been depending on, is starting an all-out mutiny that could have wide-ranging implications in the Ukrainian war. Plus, downed trees and damaged roofs. We're on the ground in Colorado after tornadoes touched down and wreaked havoc. Some of the biggest pride parades in the world are set to take place across the U.S. this weekend. We're going to have the security preps that are already underway. And it was a night of firsts at the NBA draft, from the Twins selected in the top 10 to the name everyone will soon know. We're going to have details tonight for you by the numbers. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country covering all of this for us tonight. But we begin with that major development overseas in Russia. The leader of the Russian mercenary Wagner Group is calling for an armed mutiny. Yevgeny Prigozhin claims most Russian soldiers are with him and that he actually has 25,000 men already behind him. He also says his fighters have been attacked by the regular Russian army. We've been tracking the secretive Wagner Group for months here at ABC News Live. Once in the shadows, they now operate in as many as 30 countries around the world and have played a major role in Russia's war in Ukraine. Russia's defense ministry claims Ukraine has been concentrating forces right near Bakhmut to take advantage of all this confusion. Tonight, there are questions about what's happening inside Russia. Moscow, we know, has put additional security in place around all key facilities, and riot police have even been put on high alert. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell leads us off tonight with these extraordinary developments.
Tonight, a major crisis unfolding in Russia. The leader of Russia's paramilitary Wagner Group fighting in Ukraine, calling for an armed rebellion against senior members of Russia's military leadership. Yevgeny Prigozhin, in a long-running feud with Russian Defense Minister Shoigu and other commanders, releasing this unverified video claiming his troops were attacked today by the regular Russian army. The Russian Defense Ministry calling the accusation a lie, and the powerful FSB intelligence agency tonight opening a criminal case against Prigozhin. But the Wagner leader warning that the military leadership of Russia must be stopped, saying he has 25,000 men behind him. Meanwhile, on the ground, Putin's men trying to resist Ukrainian attacks on multiple fronts. ABC News given this video from troops who say it was filmed inside an American-made Bradley fighting vehicle. Watch as a Ukrainian gun fires at Russian positions, appearing to destroy a military vehicle. We were taken to one of the areas where Ukraine launched its counter-offensive, Velka Novosilka in the south, which has been heavily pounded by Putin's forces. In the surrounding countryside, a French artillery weapon fires towards Russian positions just a few miles away. And as we spoke to local volunteers, the silence shattered by the roar of fighter jets overhead.
You can see there are Ukrainian fighter jets flying incredibly low, the flares that are going off in the sky to try and deter any kind of Russian attacks. They're heading over to Russian positions. The Russian front line used to be here. It's now moved probably about 7 or 8 miles down the road. But this is where the counter-offensive is at its most intense.
Putin's men are in a tough, bloody fight in Ukraine, and now the Russian leader appears to be facing a crisis at home.
And Ian joins me now from Kyiv. Ian, just how significant, can you lay this out for us, just how significant is this dispute, and what could it mean for the battle inside Ukraine?
Yeah, Phil, I mean, it could have potential consequences, I think, for the war here. I mean, because you've got a situation of potential discord and disarray within the Russian military. You've got Wagner, who've been instrumental, at least in the battlefield successes around Bakhmut, this key city in the Donbass that the Russians were able to take. Frankly speaking, the Russians were only really able to take it, at least that's the way it appears, thanks to the fighting men of the Wagner group, many of whom, of course, were convicted from jail, recruited directly by Wagner. But they fought hard on the ground and they managed to achieve what the regular Russian military was failing to do. So that disarray may well prove a moment of opportunity for Ukraine as it's starting to probe and prod in different parts in the south and the east at the start of this counteroffensive. Everyone, Ukrainian officials certainly making it clear that we haven't really seen the main push yet. This might give them the opportunity. Interestingly, tonight, the Russians are reporting that the Ukrainians have launched another counteroffensive near Bakhmut this evening, perhaps seizing on the moment. Phil?
An equally important question here, Ian. What does this mean for Putin's power in Russia? Are we actually seeing the start, an attempt at a military coup in Russia?
Yeah, Phil, I mean, we're witnessing an extraordinary and potentially volatile moment in Russia right now. I mean, state media are reporting that there have been increased security measures. Social media are showing videos, again, they're not verified at the moment, that seem to show an increase in security measures, certainly in Moscow. I think it's important to remember that Prigozhin has been very vocal in criticising Defense Minister Shoigu, Gerasimov, the head of the Russian military, and also other senior Russian commanders, but he hasn't criticised Vladimir Putin, the commander-in-chief. Now, the Kremlin's only issued a fairly terse statement saying that they're aware of the situation and that, quotes, all necessary measures will be taken without specifying exactly what that is. The FSB seems to have come down clearly on the side of the Russian military. They're issuing effectively a warrant for Prigozhin's arrest, but Prigozhin has 25,000 people, heavily armed, battle-hardened, and he says, essentially, he's going to try and remove the Russian military leadership. Now, can you remove the military leadership without challenging the political leadership? That's why I say we're in a volatile place at the moment. No one really knows where this ends. No one knows whether Prigozhin's words are going to be backed up by action, but really all eyes are going to be on Moscow over the coming days. Phil?
Yeah, and that's really how fascinating this is, because we've seen, it's proven that criticizing Putin is a very dangerous thing to do. Ian Pannell from Kyiv tonight. Thank you. Also tonight, the investigation is growing into that catastrophic implosion of the Titan that claimed the lives of 5 in the Atlantic down near the Titanic wreckage. A short time ago, the NTSB announced it will join the investigation. Tonight, there are significant questions about the design and the safety of that submersible. And did word that the Navy thought they heard the explosion get to the families? Gio Benitez reports.
Tonight, the NTSB joining the Coast Guard in the investigation into the catastrophic implosion of the Ocean Gate sub that killed all 5 passengers on their descent to the Titanic wreckage.
They'll probably get to the point, if they can collect enough of the pieces, they'll get a pretty good sense of where the flaw was.
And here we go.
Director James Cameron, who built his own sub to explore the Titanic that has been to the wreckage more than 30 times, believes the clues are lying in that debris 1,600 feet from the Titanic's bow, including its nose cone and both ends of the capsule.
That carbon fiber composite cylinder is now just in very small pieces, and it's all rammed into one of the hemispheres. So it's pretty clear that that's what failed.
Industry experts had warned OceanGate's experimental approach, which included using that carbon fiber construction, could lead to catastrophe. But CEO Stockton Rush pushed forward with his sub without certification, what they call classing. Oceanographer Bob Ballard, who discovered the Titanic wreckage, says that was a fatal mistake.
We've made thousands and thousands and thousands of dives with other countries as well to these depths and have never had an incident. So this is the first time, and the smoking gun is this is the first time by a submarine that wasn't classed.
In videos like this one, Stockton Rush insisted the Titan was made of materials that could adapt to the extreme pressures of the deep, like this acrylic window.
It's acrylic, plexiglass, and it is 7 inches thick. When we go to the Titanic, it will squeeze in about 3/4 of an inch. It just deforms. And acrylic's great because it squeezes in, and before it cracks or fails, it starts to crackle. And so you get a huge warning if it's going to fail.
Tonight, we're learning more about the push to book passengers for that fatal trip. Jay Bloom from Las Vegas says for months, Stockton Rush was trying to sell him and his son 2 seats, offering to knock $100,000 off the $250,000 price. Rush texting, last minute price is $150,000 per person. When Jay told him his son had safety concerns, Rush responding, I'm happy to have a video call with him. Curious what the uninformed would say the danger is and whether it's real or imagined.
He drank his own Kool-Aid. He was passionate about it. It didn't come from a place of malice. It didn't come from a place of greed. He just, had this vision, had this belief, and wanted the world to share it with him.
He says those seats instead went to another father and son, Shahzada Dawood and 19-year-old Suleiman. Shahzada's brother, Samad, heartbroken, remembering his nephew.
I think it's sad, but also amazing that his death also brought the world together.
And Gio joins me now. Gio, we now know that the Navy had detected a possible implosion on Sunday around the same time the sub lost contact. But when were the families given that information?
Well, Phil, a defense official tells us that at some point during the search, the families were told about that sound from that Navy detection system, but that it wasn't definitive proof, and so the Coast Guard, they kept searching anyway. Phil.
All right, Gio, thanks. Next tonight, the severe weather outbreak as we head into the weekend. The extreme heat continues in the south, heavy rain moving into the northeast, but it's the tornadoes that have turned deadly this week, and the threat tonight is far from over. ABC's Mola Lengi is in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, a Denver suburb where one of those twisters touched down.
Tonight, powerful storms dumping rain and wind outside Oklahoma City. A week-long onslaught of severe weather continues. AccuWeather tracking angry skies in Wyoming. This after an EF1 tornado with 97-mile-an-hour winds cut a 6-mile path through the Denver suburbs Thursday.
In this Highlands Ranch neighborhood, today was about cleaning up after the tornado passed through this neighborhood, toppling trees, knocking this 40-year-old pine right onto this home.
And it comes less than 24 hours after this monster hailstorm injured up to 90 concertgoers at Red Rocks Amphitheater. Nearly 400 reports of severe weather in just the last 3 days. A massive tornado striking Matador, Texas, northeast of Lubbock, late Wednesday, flattening Devonna Grundy's home. The first responder holding back tears, speaking with our Faith Abube.
The reality just slapped us in the face.
What was that like?
I can't describe it. Can't. We had nothing.
That twister claiming 4 lives.
All right, let's bring in Mola right now. Mola, it looks like from the the live shot behind you that there is a lot of cleanup that needs to be done in that Denver suburb.
Yeah, Phil, and the cleanup is underway, but you see still a lot of debris in this Highlands Ranch neighborhood. You got branches, tree limbs down, roofing that was ripped off. You see those 2 big blue dumpsters right there behind me. They are just filled with scraps that were ripped off of that elementary school, tree limbs that were ripped off of trees. And there were actually students and staff inside that elementary school when that tornado passed through. They had to shelter in place, but Phil, fortunately, there were no injuries.
Fortunately, indeed. Thank heaven for that. Mola, thank you. And let's bring in ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano now. Rob, tell us about the threats tonight and what we can expect heading into the weekend.
Well, Phil, I feel like a broken record here because it's the similar spots to what we saw last night. Big watch boxes up for parts of the high plains in central U.S. Dallas is included in that. We've had some thunderstorms roll through that area, and also the panhandle of Texas, and a tornado watch up for eastern parts of Wyoming getting into Nebraska. And that cluster may very well hold a little bit together more as it heads through South Dakota, Nebraska, and into Iowa in the morning, and then kind of refire during the afternoon. So that's why tomorrow we've got the chance for seeing damaging winds in Cedar Rapids back through St. Louis, maybe Kansas City as well. All the while, we've had this stubborn kind of front and low pressure system across the East Coast. That will roll up the coast into the Northeast in the morning. Some heavy rain coming into the New York area, at least to start the day. And then pretty much a chance for rain right into the middle part of next week with another kind of bigger system coming into Chicago come Sunday. Could see 1 to 3 inches by the time we do get to Wednesday. So maybe even some scattered flooding. All right, Tropical Storm Brett came through St. Lucia last night. It's about 150 miles east of Curacao right now. Tropical Storm Cindy is a little bit more formidable, may hang around a little bit longer, but both are going to run into some problems here over the next few days, and likely our forecast is for them to dissipate by Sunday or Monday. We certainly hope that to be the case. And by the way, Phil, this is the first time, I think, since 1968 or 69 that we've had 2 simultaneous tropical storms in the Atlantic in the month of June. So a bit of history there for you, and we hope that both of these will follow the forecast and not do any more damage. Phil?
Absolutely some dubious history there. Rob, thanks so much. 1 year after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, Republicans are calling for unity behind a federal ban on abortion, but they don't agree on where to draw the line. Meantime, President Biden signed an executive order protecting access to birth control. ABC's Rachel Scott with more.
On the eve of the anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the future of abortion rights in this country front and center. Former Vice President Mike Pence calling on his 2024 rivals to back a nationwide minimum 15-week abortion ban.
Every Republican candidate for president should support a ban on abortion before 15 weeks as a minimum nationwide standard.
Aren't you glad to live in the free
Florida
state
Governor
of
Ron
Florida?
DeSantis has gone even further in his state, today defending the bill he signed that bans abortion at 6 weeks before many women know they are pregnant.
It was the right thing to do. Don't let anyone tell you it wasn't.
It's the most he's said on the subject since he launched his campaign for president, after the frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, criticized DeSantis for going too far, saying in an interview that many people within the pro-life movement feel that that was too harsh. But when Trump was pressed to clarify his own stance, he didn't answer.
Some people are at 6 weeks. Some people are at 3 weeks,
where's
2
President
weeks.
Trump?
President Trump is going to make a determination what he thinks is great for the country and what's fair for the country.
Since the fall of Roe, 15 states have severely restricted access to abortion. President Biden today signing an executive order to protect access to birth control. But he has acknowledged there's only so much he could do alone.
I never, ever thought I'd be signing an executive order protecting the right to contraception. But the only sure way to protect a woman's health and rights is for Congress to pass a law.
Our thanks to Rachel for that. Police in New York City are beefing up security just ahead of Sunday's 53rd annual Pride March. Authorities say there are no specific or credible threats, but an assessment by the NYPD said the event will take place, quote, amid an elevated threat environment worldwide toward the LGBTQ community. The march is expected to draw about 1 million spectators with 100,000 participants and about 60 floats. And be sure to catch our special, Pride Across America, featuring live coverage of Pride marches in New York City, Chicago, out to San Francisco, highlighting the LGBTQ plus community. That's Pride Sunday, June 25th. Coverage kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on ABC News Live, streaming on Hulu as well. To Washington now, where Attorney General Merrick Garland is defending the Justice Department's investigation of Hunter Biden and the independence of Trump-appointed prosecutor David Weiss. It comes after Republicans released transcripts of interviews with 2 IRS whistleblowers who claim the president's son got, quote, preferential treatment. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
Hunter Biden overnight spotted attending a lavish state dinner at the White House, seen publicly for the first time since he struck that deal with prosecutors, pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and admitting he illegally purchased a gun while addicted to drugs.
Hunter, how do you feel after taking the plea deal?
But just hours earlier, Republicans on Capitol Hill who insist he got off easy, releasing a whistleblower transcript alleging the younger Biden got preferential treatment. The lead IRS agent investigating Hunter Biden telling Congress they uncovered evidence the president's son pressured a potential Chinese business partner to move ahead with the deal by invoking his father. Allegedly writing in a WhatsApp message, "I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled." The message was allegedly sent in 2017, when Joe Biden was already out of office and Hunter Biden was heavily addicted to crack cocaine. His lawyer today saying any verifiable words or actions of my client in the midst of a horrible addiction are solely his own and have no connection to anyone in his family. The White House counsel's office adding the president was not in business with his son. The president standing by him.
I'm very proud of my son.
After 5 years of investigating, the Justice Department did not bring any charges linked to Hunter Biden's business dealings. Tonight, the Attorney General defending the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney who led the case.
I don't know how it would be possible for anybody to block him from bringing
a prosecution, given that he has this authority.
And he was never told no.
I say he was given complete authority to make all decisions on his own.
Mary Bruce from Washington tonight. Mary, thank you. Now to Pakistan, where officials confirm that an estimated 350 Pakistanis were on board that overcrowded fishing boat carrying migrants that sank off Greece last week. Pakistan's interior minister told lawmakers an estimated 700 migrants in all were on that boat. Only 104 people, including 12 Pakistanis, were rescued. 82 bodies have been recovered. The incident is one of the deadliest in the central Mediterranean Sea. 9 Egyptians accused of human smuggling are in custody. Today, the Supreme Court rejected a bid to force the Biden administration to more aggressively arrest and deport undocumented immigrants. Terry Moran, who covers the court for us, joins me now. Terry, good to see you. Can you explain the decision to us and what it could mean for immigration policy moving forward?
Sure, Phil. This opinion comes out of the 2021 effort by the Biden administration to get a handle on what was really an immigration crisis. They decided to prioritize who should get deported. They said it should be the most recent border crossers and people who pose a threat to public safety. Well, Texas and Louisiana didn't like that. They read the law as saying that all must be deported, even though no administration, Republican or Democrat, has done that for more than 25 years. Texas and Louisiana was trying to force the Biden administration to do that. They said they were incurring real costs because the Biden administration wasn't doing this. The Trump administration didn't do it either, and you didn't see Texas and Louisiana suing them. That said, they thought they had a good case until it got to the Supreme Court. 8-1 opinion, 8-1 ruling here, Phil, with only Justice Samuel Alito dissenting. And the court saying that Texas and Louisiana has no business telling the federal government who should be arrested and deported or not. That even though they have incurred monetary costs, this is just not something that states can do. Disagree with the policy of administration and go to court to get the courts to enforce it. Congress can change the law. There are other avenues for Texas and Louisiana, the people of Texas and Louisiana, to pursue, but states on their own can't go to court to force the administration to choose their policy choices about who should get deported. And, Phil, this has a major impact practically, right? The Biden administration can now go forward with an immigration policy that they think is working. And second, it really does narrow what has become a trend of states in one party, controlled by one party, suing the president and the administration of the other party to realign their policy choices. This may narrow that, what's called state standing. They didn't really start doing it until 2007, and this opinion suggests most of the justices feel that's getting out of control. Phil?
Yeah, that's pretty decisive, 8-1. Terry, thanks for the explanation. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Some welcome news tonight in Philadelphia, where traffic is once again flowing on I-95. 6 temporary lanes opened to vehicles at noon today, just under 2 weeks after that deadly tanker fire caused part of the highway to collapse. Engines from the Philadelphia Fire Department led the way with Philly mascots on board. Take a look. Gritty and the Philly Fanatic were there. There were concerns construction could take months, but teams worked around the clock, and President Biden thanked union workers for their grit and determination. Still much more to get to here on Prime tonight. Coming up, the heart-stopping moments as police work to pull a man from a car that you see is engulfed in flames. But next, water is essential. Many communities, though, don't have easy access to it. So we travel to rural areas out west to witness that struggle firsthand.
We have to keep the water coming in the tank every day for us to shower, for us to get ready for work. You always think that those people that have running water are really lucky.
Whenever news breaks.
The crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas. ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
In Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
Welcome back. Across a 27,000 square mile stretch in the Southwest lies Navajo Nation. And for decades, communities have been lacking an everyday essential most Americans take for granted: water. This week, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the Navajo Nation cannot sue to force the federal government to help expand the reservation's access to water at a time when it is in short supply across the American West. So ABC's Rachel Scott recently traveled into rural New Mexico and Utah to witness the struggle firsthand as families try desperately to access a basic human need.
It's a drive most Americans will never have to take. But for the last 20 years, this is what Henry Wilson has had to do to get water for his family. In Monument Valley, Utah, the line at the well starts early, and today Henry arrived much later than he had hoped. Every car in this line is a family in the Navajo Nation without access to running water. After 90 minutes of waiting, Henry finally pulls up to the well. That 325-gallon basin will only be enough to get his family of 10 through the next 24 hours. His final stop, manually filling his family's underground water tank. 3 hours later, he arrives back home. His wife, Eloise, and several grandchildren waiting with pails in hand. Henry and Eloise invited us inside their hogan, a spiritual traditional home. What does water mean for your culture and for your community?
We pray with water. We bless ourselves with water. And water is really special to us.
But what's considered sacred in the Navajo Nation is also scant. 30% live without running water. What is the longest that you have waited in line for water?
3 hours. Summer, hot.
We have to keep the water coming in the tank every day for us to shower, for us to get ready for work. You always think that those people that have running water are really lucky.
It's not just Eloise and Henry. From Utah to New Mexico, families in the Navajo Nation travel miles, often multiple times a day, just to get access to the most essential resource, water.
This is the bucket that we have to fill up water, the only bucket that we have. And we do get water from the store, like Walmart.
In Pruitt, New Mexico, Erica Francis uses that one and only bucket to get water for her family of 6 from an outdoor tap up the road.
We try to just use 5 gallons a bucket a day, but sometimes it's just not enough and you need more and more.
Most Americans use 82 gallons.
Washing up, I usually just, put up big pot of water and put it on the stove and heat it up like that until it get hot, and mix it with a little bit of cold water. It'll be warm for my littles to bathe in.
For now, it's the indigenous-led organization Dig Deep that stepped in to bridge the gap. Cindy Howe is the deputy director.
My team is, they're all Navajo people. They're actually out here helping their own people to try to get water.
Cindy has worked for years to bring water tanks to the reservation. And today, Erica gets her very own.
Okay, are we ready? Here you go. Now wash your hands.
Within just 24 hours, Dig Deep was able to give Erica something she's waited her entire life for: clean water.
They're getting emotional.
Yeah, Cindy. I just want to thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do.
Our thanks to Rachel Scott for that. And, of course, our colleagues at GMA3. Still ahead here on Prime, the new law that's now leading Facebook to restrict news access in Canada. And from Friday to finding her own voice, Rebecca Black tells us how she's embracing the present and moving on from that viral video that marked her childhood.
It's taken years to get over that or get over it is not even the right way to really talk about it.
Live with it or coexist or whatever.
I mean, yeah, to understand really what you went through.
Basketball's next big stars find out where they'll start their NBA careers, but the big winner of the week may be someone who was drafted 4 decades ago. We'll take a look by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
I came out of jail with a plan. I was gonna put every piece of energy I had into music. Give it up for Jelly Roll! If I wasn't a musician, I'd be dead. This was my best bet to really have an impact. I'll cry with you. Who'd have thought I could help people? I needed help, you know, I still need help. Somebody save me. I love you.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! This mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what people don't see during the commercial breaks.
Right, they don't.
What happened? I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasure that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is the King Road Killings, a new podcast from ABC Audio. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. The 23 NBA draft is in the books, and while there were a few major surprises, there was some history as well, so let's take a look at it by the numbers. As expected, the San Antonio Spurs, which will be fun to watch, used the first pick in the draft to select French phenom Victor Wembanyama. The 19-year-old prospect has an 8-foot wingspan, was listed as 7 feet 4 inches in the NBA draft guide. He's considered a once-in-a-generation talent combining height, shooting, and rare defensive skills. Making history last night were two brothers, Eamon and Asar Thompson, twins who played together for the Overtime Elite League, selected back-to-back with the 4th and 5th picks. They're the first brothers ever taken in the top 5 of the same NBA draft. And for the first time since 2001, only one of the top 5 picks played U.S. college basketball last year, with Alabama's Brandon Miller going with the 2nd pick to the Charlotte Hornets. The other picks either played overseas or in U.S. development leagues instead of the NCAA. Speaking of the Hornets, arguably the biggest winner of last week was actually drafted 39 years ago in 1984. We're talking about Michael Jordan. That's because Jordan agreed last Friday to sell his majority stake in the Hornets for a whopping $3 billion. That's according to ESPN. That ends his 13 years as the team's top owner, although he is keeping a minority stake in the team once the deal is finalized in a couple of weeks. And Jordan is cashing in. Remember, he's getting $3 billion. His original investment in the Hornets was $275 million. That's back in 2010. And while Jordan made about $94 million in salary as a player, he's earned far more endorsements, obviously, and Nike earnings. Now, his biggest payday yet. There's still much more ahead here on Prime. Interest is rising for the use of a trippy drug in clinical trials, how the FDA is now weighing in. Comedian, author, actress, and showrunner Gina Yashere tells us about her latest project, a national stand-up tour.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said that there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. At a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live. This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital.
Destructive Cat 4 storm.
We're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think to yourself, okay, who's the target and how many people would a man go through to get to his target?
I'm Kana Whitworth with ABC News. This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a scholar of crime. This is The King Road Killings, a new podcast from ABC Audio. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis, streaming weeknights.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. Body camera video captures a deadly shooting involving a Customs and Border Patrol officer. Facebook restricts news sharing in Canada, and the heart-stopping moments as a man is pulled from a burning car. These stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
Newly released body camera video shows a fatal shooting involving Customs and Border Patrol agents in Arizona. That agency says its officers at the Tucson sector, as well as the Navajo Nation Police Department, were responding to a call about shots fired near a home May 18th. Border officers found the man, only identified as an adult male U.S. citizen, outside. Officials said he threw a machete towards an approaching officer that landed a few feet from them and then suddenly held out an arm. 3 agents then shot him, killing the man. Officials recovered the machete in its sheath, as well as a cell phone and phone case near the man. It's all under investigation.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, says it is planning to block Canadian users from sharing news on the platforms because of new legislation.
The bill would require Google and Meta to pay media outlets for news they share or otherwise repurpose on their platforms. Ottawa has said the law creates a level playing field between online advertising giants and the shrinking news industry. Meta has already confirmed that it plans to comply with the law by ending news availability on Facebook and Instagram for Canadian users. It's not the first time that Meta has done this, though. In 2021, it briefly blocked news from its platform in Australia after a similar law was passed. Meta later struck deals with Australian publishers.
There is some much-needed good news if you are on the hunt for a new home. The National Association of Realtors says that U.S. home prices declined 3.1% in May compared to a year before. That was the biggest drop in 11 years. Existing homes sold for a median price of just under $400,000. Here's the bad news. There is still a big shortage of homes on the market. Sales overall were down 20% in May from a year before. One key reason for that is that higher mortgage rates are making homeowners who locked in low rates a lot more reluctant to sell.
For the first time, federal regulators have issued draft guidance on using psychedelic drugs in clinical trials.
The director of the Division of Psychiatry in the FDA's Drug Evaluation and Research Center says psychedelic drugs show initial promise for treatment of mood, anxiety, and substance use disorders, but that their unique characteristics should be considered when designing a clinical study. This guidance, now open for public comment, includes several factors to consider, including the potential for abuse of these drugs.
Famed lyricist Sheldon Harnick, one of the songwriters behind Fiddler on the Roof, has died. Harnick was a Tony, Grammy, and Pulitzer Prize-winning lyricist who, with Jerry Bach, formed one of the premier songwriting duos for musical theater. One of their biggest hits was Fiddler on the Roof,
If I Were a Rich Man,
which won Harnick 2 Tony Awards and saw his lyrics become theater classics. Harnick and Bach also wrote shows like Fiorello and The Apple Tree. Harnick was 99 years old.
Cops in Virginia rescued a man from a burning car. Fairfax County Police say on June 15th, officers rushed to get the driver out. They say the 27-year-old struck a curb and hit a telephone pole and tree before the car came to rest on its side. They say detectives believe speed and alcohol were factors in the crash. Once rescued, the driver was arrested for DWI.
She is a comedian, author, and co-creator of the critically acclaimed sitcom Bob Hart's Abishola. Now, Gina Yashere is embarking on a multi-city solo tour titled The Woman King of Comedy, a perfect title, which chronicles her journey from being born in London to immigrant parents to addressing racism and her personal journey as a lesbian. Gina joins us now here in studio. It is so good to see you.
Nice to see you, Phil.
I just gonna say your smile brights up a room, so I think that's good for a comic, right?
Oh, yeah.
To have a good smile. For those who know your comedy, they know what to expect when they see you in one of these shows. But for those who don't, what can people expect when they come see you?
I'm a storyteller, so I'm basically telling stories from my life, from living in London, growing up in England in the 70s and 80s, becoming an engineer. I was the first elevator engineer with Otis in their 100-year history in the UK. So I built and repaired elevators for a living before I got into comedy.
Is that what you studied at university? Or?
Yes, I studied electrical electronics engineering.
Cool.
So I went from engineering to comedy, did comedy in England, had a pretty decent amount of success, and then I was like, I've been dreaming of living in America since I was 4, and so I came out to America, and this is where I've been ever since.
How does one transition from engineering to comedy?
It's crazy. Right? Nobody does it this way. I have no idea. It just happened. I was doing engineering, I left that job, I was taking the summer off, and I kind of fell into comedy, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick with this for a bit and see how it goes. And I just ended up never going back to engineering.
It's going swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
Part of what is going so swimmingly, you write and star in what we mentioned at the top of the segment, Bob Hart's Abishola, and the series has been incredibly well received. You just told me it's gotten picked up.
Yes, season 5.
Season 5. Why do you think it's resonating with viewers?
Because it's a story about these two families that come together, this white, wealthy family from the Midwest and this Nigerian immigrant family, and they come together through love, the two of them falling in love. And it's a sweet, wholesome, beautiful story, and it just shows that people are just people. It doesn't matter where you come from in the world, that love basically rules, and that's basically what the story is, and people have really come to fall in love with these characters.
You tackle immigration, family dynamics, workplace issues, sexuality. How do you balance? I guess that's the real trick and the brilliance of comedy. How do you balance those issues with comedy?
Well, our first port of call is comedy. It's a comedy, so we have to comede. So that's what we do. But obviously, we want to tell true stories that are true to human life and human nature, and we do put real stories in there, but we keep it humorous so people don't realize they're being educated because they're laughing. It's like sugarcoating a horrible tasting pill.
In your memoir, you've recently released a memoir called Cack-Handed. You're left-handed.
Yes.
And I didn't know that. I have a brother who's left-handed, so we'll shout out to all the left-handers in the world. Yeah. You talk about your experiences growing up in England as a child, transplanted from Nigeria, in addition to being raised by a strict mom. You also talk about racism.
Yes.
And how did these experiences when you were a kid sort of shape where you are today in your comedy?
Well, you know, it's pervasive throughout society, and it's bred into all of us, black, white, brown, all of us. There is a nugget of it in everybody, in that even as black people, we've been trained to feel less than all our lives. But I constantly fighting against it. I was constantly fighting to make the best of my life despite the barriers that have been thrown in front of me. So it kind of made me stronger and more resilient because I'm constantly dodging these bollards that have been put in my way and trying to make my way forward. So, yeah, definitely giving me more resilience and strength.
I would think, just as a fan of comedy, I laugh sort of the loudest when people are making jokes about everyday stuff that I can really relate to.
Yeah.
But I would imagine when it comes to immigration and racism and these things that are part of everyday life as well, not just like, you know, a joke about going to the grocery store and whatever, but how do you make jokes? How do you make people laugh with issues like racism and immigration?
Because I'm not just going, white people, you're all racist. I'm not doing that. I tell funny stories about what has happened to me. So I put them into entertaining stories, but then teach people that racism is not just the Ku Klux Klan walking around in hoods, you know, terrorizing people. It's just everyday sort of...
It's in everyday life.
Subtle... sort of death by 1,000 cuts racism. But it's still an interesting and entertaining story because at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer, so I'm here to entertain.
Gina, thanks so much for joining us. Tickets for the Woman King of Comedy Tour are available to purchase now. You can find more details on GinaYashere.com. Next tonight, she lives in internet infamy, the center of one of the web's earliest viral events, the music video for the song Friday. It's more than 10 years ago now. But despite the visceral backlash and the bullies, all these years later, Rebecca Black has persevered, writing songs now with intensely personal lyrics and poppy fun hooks. The 26-year-old learning from her past to forge her future. In front of an intimate and passionate crowd in Philadelphia, Rebecca Black is triumphant in so many ways.
I'm really in this new chapter for myself. Now that the album is out, hearing them sing songs that I'm like, I can't believe they know this well and they're this loud. It's really emotional because it's like the most validating piece of what we do.
In 2011, her parents paid $4,000 to a company that wrote and produced this video for her to star in, a song called Friday.
It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
150 million views, one of the first major viral events. The thought of being world famous to an 8th grader was exciting, but then came the visceral backlash. Online parodies.
It's Thursday, Thursday's the day before Friday.
Including comments like, worst song ever, to I hate you and you should kill yourself. She was just 13.
How did you wrap your head around that? Who helped you wrap your head around that?
Sure.
That's a big adult, huge thing that happened to a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really intense time. It's taken years to get over that or get over it is not even the right way to really talk about it.
Live with it or coexist or whatever.
I mean, yeah, to understand really what you went through and what really happened to you, because in the moment it was really hard, I think, to grasp what was happening. I also got a lot of help when I turned 18. I mean, I spent a lot of time in deep, we're not talking self-care bubble baths, which is great too, but I was in pretty intense mental health work to try to understand what I didn't even realize I needed to understand.
She continued to pursue her dream, dropping songs from time to time over the next decade.
I'm not forever young.
And in 2021, the release of Rebecca Black was here, a 6-track hyper-pop mix of songs, a statement about where she's been. A new, more mature look and sound, her songwriting developing in a more personal way.
I wrote down a lyric that I think is so clever that you wrote, and I just love it. It's from one of my favorite songs of yours, Worth It for the Feeling.
A track written about bumping into her ex.
And you come down to the end and you're out of 5,000 people. Of course, you're standing there weighing all my options, running through my head. I think I'll take the chance, because after all, what are the chances?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that line.
I was out actually at a protest, and all of a sudden I looked and I was like, that's my friend. And then I looked right next to her and I was like, oh, that's my ex, who I hadn't seen in months. And I had this experience of I want to go say something, but I also don't. What do I do?
So did you go up to your ex?
Yeah.
You did?
The song, a hit with fans. Also off that album, Girlfriend.
This time it's gonna be different. I'm getting back with my girlfriend.
A song she wrote not long after coming out as queer in April of 2020.
I think coming out was, in hindsight, definitely a turning point for me, at least internally, because I really, truly struggled with finding my way for a long time in between Friday and that point. That was just such a thing that I knew was so true about myself, and an experience that like I sat a long time with myself and with my thoughts and could really understand.
That same year, performing Girlfriend at the GLAAD Awards. Songwriting is so important to Black, a process she says can change from song to song. Do you think songwriting is learned? Do you think people can learn to do it?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, I've learned so much over the course of the last, I guess, 7 years that I've been really working on this for myself as serious as I have.
Now active on social media on her terms. This year releasing Let Her Burn, the album title a clear reference to the younger, more uncertain version of herself. Able to write about that painful time when she was just 13 in her new song, Destroy Me.
Every time you see me, do you hear violence? Cut a little deeper, there's no reaching the end. Watch me run a passion, burn again and again. Go ahead, destroy me.
Writing about the past and embracing it, connecting to what's important, like her fans.
Hi! Oh my God, everyone looks so good.
You're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
Oh,
Your album is incredible.
I'm not from Philly, but I flew in from North Carolina, so.
Holy
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, you're worth it, trust me.
And her family, watching over her 8-year-old sister as she grows up, also interested in the music business.
There's still, like, it doesn't feel like a rule book or a handbook on how to help children and how are we protecting them.
You must feel so protective of her. You must be like a mama bear with your sister.
It's so, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I think, you know, I don't know who to fault for where we're at. And I don't know if that's the conversation to have. It's just like, I just hope people are, you know, learning from whether it's what happened to me or like now the other 1,000 cases of these kids going viral on the internet.
Learning from her past, taking control of her future, and taking back that song that started it all. Friday, she makes sure to play it every night. And then back to YouTube where it all started. The comments under her original version of Friday are different now, like this one. She hasn't removed the song and kept comments turned on. What a legend. Between that and the love she feels at her shows, Rebecca Black is back, stronger, more confident, and ready to take on what's next.
I know that virtually every person in that room is there because they are giving me a chance and they believe in me. And being able to see that right in front of your face as somebody who hasn't had that is really like, I can feel it even right now. It's just very overwhelming and experience that I hope that everybody gets to have in their life where they feel appreciated like that.
Remarkably introspective, and we love having Rebecca on the playlist. That's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com. Good night.
This is ABC News Live Prime. Powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights from America's